It's been 6 months. People of Middle-earth, I'm Ryan the Cyber Hobbit. I know it's been a while, about 6 months I think. I've been busy doing all of this. But I'm back, and it's time to get back into making videos. To make it up to you, I have a sort of special treat. Today I'm doing 3 unboxings, 2 items from United Cutlery, and another one from a custom prop maker, Mike Shea with Shea Props. Without further ado, let's get into it. So today we'll be unboxing Daggers of Middle-earth. First up is the Dagger of Boromir. This made, I believe, just one quick appearance in the films, and it's when Boromir is saving Merry and Pippin from the Uruk-hai. This is the 3rd item United Cutlery has made of Boromir's, and I hope it's not the last. Please, United Cutlery, give us the shield. Pretty please? Inside the box, you'll find the dagger wrapped and zip-tied, as well as the certificate of authenticity and the wall mounting plaque. Now let's take a closer look at the dagger. Just like his sword, it's got a very wide, tapered blade, and like most United Cutlery items, is a tempered stainless steel. Also, like his sword, it's got the same fuller, which is the 2 raised grooves, or channels, that run along the length of the blade. You might notice a thin residue on the blade. I believe this is just a protective coating to help prevent corrosion while in storage or shipping. It's easily removed with a microfiber cloth. The handguard is made of a shiny brass that connects to a decorative winding gold and silver ring. This connects to the grip that is tightly wrapped in a finely twisted stainless steel wire. It's an interesting aesthetic, but I really like it. Again, similar to his sword, it has a flared steel pommel with a brass ring on the end. Next, we'll check out the wall mounting plaque. It's a nice size for such a small dagger, and features the typical United Cutlery wood grain look with some black spray paint around the edges. In the center is a light goldish white Gondorian themed tree with some sort of winged symbol on the trunk. I know not everyone is a fan of these, but I've always liked them. Though I've never been a big fan of the included wall mounting hardware, so if you collect United Cutlery items, I highly recommend picking up some of these metal self-drilling wall anchors that are rated for 50 pounds. I won't be wall mounting mine just yet as I have something planned for it, but here's what the dagger would look like on the plaque. Even though it's a bit wide for a dagger, it perfectly complements Boromir's sword, so I can't complain. The next dagger we'll take a look at is the Elven Knife of Strider. Though I guess it's not really a dagger since it's a single-edged blade meant for cutting instead of stabbing. But I suppose you could argue it's still a dagger in spirit, considering Aragorn used it to stab Lurtz in the leg, leading to that epic scene fans love to talk about where Viggo actually deflected the thrown knife in real life. Inside the box you'll find the knife in its included scabbard that's wrapped in plastic and zip-tied to hold it in place. I could be wrong, but I believe this is the only UC item that comes with its own scabbard. Also in the box is the wall mounting plaque, a certificate of authenticity, and a graphic banner with some details about the knife. Now for a closer look at the knife and scabbard. This being my first scabbard I own from United Cutlery, I've got to say I'm impressed. It's made from leather and has gold-colored metal accented pieces on the top and bottom. But I'll go further into the details of the scabbard in a bit. I'm too excited to not first check out the knife itself. It's got a very unique and curved polished blade, similar to some of the other elven swords like Hadafang or Sting. Toward the tip of the blade are etched runes in the Elvish language Sindarin that translate to Foe of Morgoth's Realm. Towards the bottom of the blade are some swirling patterns that mimic the details seen in the film. The handle has a smooth, dark, wood-like finish, but I'm pretty sure it's not actually made of wood. On the very end is again the decorative gold-toned metal that forms the pommel. And also, my apologies I didn't notice the small dust specks while filming since I was using my camera's flip-out screen, but they wipe away pretty easily with a microfiber towel. The knife feels very comfortable to hold and weighs just under 1.5 pounds. Sliding the knife into the scabbard is very easy once you have the right angle, and kind of satisfying. Circling back to the scabbard, there's a nice stitching of the leather that runs along the bottom. Also, if you zoom in on certain parts of the gold-toned metal pieces, you can see what looks like some areas of black paint that maybe aren't painted perfectly. Though I'm not sure if this is supposed to represent some type of dirt and grime. To be honest, though, it doesn't really bother me, as you don't really notice it until you zoom in and look close. And I guess it's kinda nice to have a bit of wear. On one side of the scabbard are these belt-like leather straps that are used to hold it in place, with gold-toned buckles and rivets adding to the overall look. The straps are slightly adjustable and has a loop you could run your belt through if you were to actually wear it. It's a nice touch that gives the feeling that this could be functional, even though this is just mainly for display. And now onto the wall mounting plaque. Again, in UC fashion, it's the dark stained wood with black paint around the edge with a goldish white design in the middle. This time though, in the very center is the Elven brooch the Fellowship wore, the Leaf of Lothlorien. You might think this plaque is rather large for just a knife, but it's actually meant to hold both the knife and the scabbard separately. This comes with not the typical 2, but 6 of the L-shaped hooks used to hold the items onto the plaque. Oddly though, I did notice the instructions specifically show there should be 2 different sizes of the hooks, but mine are all the same. I guess ultimately it doesn't matter as long as they hold the items, but them being the same height does make it a bit difficult to insert as they bump into one another. But eventually I got it there. Overall, I'm pretty happy with these, as this was an item I've wanted for a long time. The fact there's a dedicated spot for the scabbard really helps to set this apart from all my other prop replicas. I've usually held off on scabbards as you kinda have to make up your own way to display them with the swords, but I think this one works great, and kind of makes me want to start collecting the other scabbards. Maybe one day. And now onto our final dagger. This is the Witless Worm Dagger by Shea Props, and it's the very dagger used by Grima Wormtongue to kill Saruman at the beginning of the Return of the King. If you've never heard of Shea Props, it's the work of fellow collector and prop maker Mike Shea. He's got quite the following across social media, and regularly posts updates about the things he's working on. So check him out and give him a follow if you're interested in seeing more. Upon opening the box, just by the foam alone you can immediately tell that a lot of care went into making this. You're greeted with a thank you card that gives a little insight to the process that it took to make this. He also calls out Into Darkness, another friend and large collector and prop maker that added in helping to add the hollow grinds on the blade. It's so cool to see fellow collectors collaborating on making things like this, as it shows a deep appreciation and care for the craftsmanship and accuracy of all things Middle-earth. Made for fans, by fans. Just look at this. Individually cut out foam pieces. Now this is how you make sure your prop replica doesn't get damaged. And first we'll take a look at the dagger. Really cool. The blade is a 3D printed bronze steel that was then hand ground by Into Darkness to add in the hollow grinds. The shiny blade edge isn't sharp, as is my preference, but with anything made of steel and pointy, you should always be careful. The handle is wrapped in a veg-tanned leather and dyed black. The little round things are 66 nails that were ground and polished by hand. Twisted between them is a stainless steel wire that is locked into place by the guard and pommel, which are made of cast pewter. This is such a cool idea for a dagger handle, and a beautiful recreation. Excellent job, Mike. So besides the dagger, this also comes with a blade sheath. It's made of leather and has a metal accent that I assume was also made with pewter. There's a stitching on one of the edges, and the leather has a nice color and seems to be tanned and slightly weathered. Looks great. Oh, and sheathing the dagger is oh so satisfying. A perfect, snug fit. And the last part is the wall mounting plaque. It's made of wood that has a beautiful horizontal grain. The edge has a multi-layered bevel design, and I really like the look and contrast of the dark outer edge to the lighter wood surface. He sent some photos to me while he was making this, and I love the design that he came up with for the middle emblem. It depicts a serpent coiling around a horse. Such a great symbolic representation of Wormtongue's influence over King Theoden. I love it. When it comes to the dagger's presentation, since the sheath fits so securely, it doesn't easily slip off. This gives you the flexibility to display it fully sheathed, unsheathed, or even partially drawn, showcasing the blade at the same time. In summary, I absolutely love this piece. It's such a gem of an item that very clearly was given lots of care and attention in its creation. It's an honor to own something not only very rare, but exceptionally crafted. Mike and Andrew, job well done. This is beautiful. So there you have it. 3 completely different but beautiful daggers. Again, this is just another small example of why I hold the films in such high regard. The sheer depth of Tolkien's world, brought to life not only through words, but through the artistry of those who crafted the films. The designers, sculptors, and prop makers poured their passion into every detail, ensuring that even the smallest objects felt like they belonged to an ancient and living world. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Now that I have a bit more free time, I hope to start making videos again at a more regular schedule. I've got a lot of things planned. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.